Hello there, welcome to Engineering Drawing Made Easy. In today's video, we are going to work on this tangency problem, and similar to the ones that we've done before, we are going to study the problem that we have at hand and learn how to go about it. Then there will be a video later on drawing out the figure itself. It's always important to understand what you are doing so that you can apply it in other challenges or problems when the need comes. Yes. Today's figure is a bit complicated compared to the first two that we've done. This does not have, how do I put it? Let's say a straight line as being part of the component, right? It's all arcs and semicircles. And if you take a look carefully, we have four distinct features or parts of this particular figure. We have this circle at the end here that has a radius of 26 millimeters. We have this circle at the end here that has a radius of 13 millimeters, and then there is this circle here or arc, that has a radius of 38, and then this last huge one that has a radius of 77. So we have four arcs here, and to help with the drawing, or to help you understand the entire figure, well, there is additional dimension, right? This dimension helps to make recreation of this figure a lot accurate, and that is the distance between the center of this arc and the center of this particular arc, right? And this is given as 51 millimeters. These dimensions are always important, and whenever you're drawing, you have to take a look at it. Understanding their relevance makes the work easier, right? So we have these two circles here, and the distance between their center is 51 millimeters. So now that we've seen all the various components, we just go ahead and start drawing. Once again, I mostly like to start with a straight line, if there is a straight line in the figure. This does not have that specifically does not have a straight line in the figure, but what it has is that it has these two circles on the straight line, and we've been given the distance between the two circles on the straight line. So I'd prefer to start with the center line of the two arcs that falls on the straight line. Yes. So you have your center line. And then let's say point A, and then point B gives the distance of 51 millimeters, right? So from point A to point B is 51 millimeters. You draw a center line and then you measure it out, and the circles fall on exactly this line, this center line that we have here. So to draw proper work, you just draw the center line for both edges. Yes. So we have the you have the line that they both fall on it, this point to be A and this point to be B that we've marked out. On this edge, there is circle on that point has a radius of 26 millimeters. So yeah, over here, your compass and the radius of 26 millimeters, you draw an arc, right? And then you move on to the other edge, radius of 13. So that's point B with your compass, right? And radius of 30 millimeters, you draw another arc. And with just that, you've done about half of the entire work, because now you're left with two lines to go, this arc and this arc. Now all you have to do is you have to study the two arcs remaining and try and understand the relation between the arcs that you are yet to draw and the ones that you've already drawn. So taking a look at this circle, if we trace it out, we'd have something like this. That is ugly. We'd have something like this. And then when you trace this particular one two out, you'd have something like this circle. So if we are to draw this particular circle here, it will touch both this circle and this circle at exactly one point, and it will touch them externally. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. It will touch both of the circles externally. If you have a good look, it will touch here, and they are both going different directions, right? Opposing each other's direction. So they will be touching externally. And from the tangency rules, we know that when two circles touch externally, the distance between their center, right, will be the sum of the radii. So the distance between the center here to the center here is the same as the radius of 26 plus the radius of 38. That will be the distance from here to here. And the distance from the center here to the center here will be the radius of 38 plus the radius of 13. That would also give you the center at this particular point. So we are going to go through it step by step. First, starting with the circle at point A, right? It has a radius of 26, and the circle you are trying to draw has a radius of 38. So you add the two, and that gives you a distance of 64, right? It gives you a distance of 64. So with your compass, and at this point you pin it up to a radius of 64. Let me change the color. You pin to a radius of 64. You pin to a radius of 64, and you draw an arc. This arc once again shows where that the center might be, or the center might fall. And then you go on to the distance from point B, and that will be 13, right? The circle at point B plus the radius of the circle that we are trying to draw, which is 38, and that will give you 51. So this color. That seems very close. Yeah, so from this center here, you pin your compass to a radius of 51, and then you draw an arc, right? Where the two arcs meet is the center of the circle, in the middle here. So with your compass, at this new center here, you open to a radius of 38, because that's the radius that you've been given. So radius of 38, and then you draw an arc. And then you draw an arc. This figure is very off. If this lesson is helpful so far, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss upcoming tutorials. You go on to the next arc, which is this particular one, right? It has a radius of 77, and looking at the relation between this circle and the other circles, let me draw it out so that you see. So this has a radius of 77. Draw it out, it will look something like this, having a really big circle going out, and then you'd have this circle touching it internally here, and this particular circle too touching it internally here. So both of the circles touch this particular 77 circle internally, right? And you know from our tangency rule, it says that if you have two circles touching each other, one touching the other internally, the distance between the radii is the difference, right? You subtract the small one from the large radius, and that should give you the distance. So from point A, we have the circle having a radius of 26, right? So it's going to be 77 minus 26, which is 51, right? That means the distance between the center at point A to the center of this radius, or this arc, yes, the center of this particular arc, is going to be 51 millimeters. So let's draw that one two out with different colors. Let's see. Okay, so here should be 51. It should be, I think it will go a bit higher maybe. So you draw your arc with radius of 51, and then the next one would be the distance from point B to the center of this radius of this arc. Why do I keep saying center of radius? The center of this arc, and that is going to be 77 minus 13. Alright, so 77 and that is going to give us 64. So let's change the color to something else different. Okay, so from point B, you open the radius, you open the compass to radius of 64 millimeters, and you draw your arc. Right, the point where both of them meet is now the center, or that gives you the center of this particular arc here with radius of 77. So you can come in with your compass, and open to a radius of 77. That, if you do everything right, that should touch the circle here at exactly one point. And when you draw out your circle, it should come touch this particular one. Yes, it should touch that particular one. This was a bit challenging to sketch out because this is a freehand sketch, and yeah, some of the dimensions are a bit off, especially the 26 arc. But that is it. If you follow the dimensions really well, you should be able to get the the correct figure. And always you have to know that your drawing skill to affect how well you get the figure in place. So you be careful with the lines that you draw, and you draw as neatly as possible. Let's see. Let's give the dimensions again as a quick review so that you get what really went on for the whole thing. So yes, the distance that we have here is 51, right? That's the distance between the two circles that we have, and we have this circle having a radius of 26. Okay, yes, this has a radius of 26 r26, and this has a radius of r13. So if you are drawing, you can just follow this approach. You start with the straight line and then use your compass. You can easily do up to this particular point. Now the next part would be the next point would be when to get the external tangent circle and then the internal tangent circle, and that could be a bit tricky, right? We started off with the external tangent circle and we just added the radii. Okay, so this particular oh no, I'm trying to change the color here. It's not working. Yeah, so we have these radius being 51 millimeters, right? And then this particular one being the 26 plus 38. $64. Yep, 26 plus 38. And then you come to the next circle here. This was the subtraction of 26 from 77, and that was a radius of 51 to get that arc, and this one was 13 from the 77, and that gave 64, right? So if you understand the tangency rules, it's quite easy to come up with these arcs and get the center for the circle or the arc you're trying to draw. When it comes to tangency, it's always about the location and the distance, right? So the center of a circle or a line, and then the distance that you're supposed to draw. If you're able to get these two always right, it will be a lot easier to get your tangency figures drawn out. Yeah, so that will be the end for this particular video. This figure is a bit challenging, so take your time. If you have to rewatch the video, rewatch it again, try and understand what everything is going on, and there'll be another video showing you that I apply the same principles and I'll be able to redraw out the figure. So yeah, I hope this was helpful, and if you like the video, kindly subscribe and also share it with your colleagues who might have challenges with this. And if you have other tangency problems, you can leave that in the comment section, or if you have any questions or suggestions, you could leave that in the comment section and I'll reply and get back to you with it.